Excuse me, miss. What's that you're listening to?
Well, it's a podcast. It's all about this couple from England who are in a lifestyle and they talk about their adventures.
So is that child-friendly then, is it?
No. They say lots of naughty things and they swear a lot. But would you like to listen?
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well 'cause it's bed hopping time.
Welcome to Bed Hoppers. This is episode 40. Coming straight at you is Mr. H and...
Mrs. H.
Yay!
Although I'm not coming at you.
Really?
No.
Like Cleopatra?
Or like a spider monkey.
Yeah. No, that'd be coming at you like a
Oh, okay,
spider monkey.
fine. Well, I'm not coming at anyone.
Really?
No.
You're not aiming.
I'm sitting nice and quietly.
I'm going to Spider-Man all over everyone, let alone Spider Monkey. So, right, you were going to say something then, weren't you? What was it going to be?
I was talking about how big the episode was.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't even...
40 seems kind of like a big number.
It is a big number.
Yeah.
And if you were over 40 years old, then you could be positively ancient.
Wow, thanks.
We're both over 40, dear.
Okay, fine. Well, we're both positively ancient then.
Justified and ancient.
Yeah.
Of Moo Moo.
Yes, Moo Moo.
We're all bound for Moo Moo land. Anyway, so we've got a few things that we want to catch up with you on.
Yes.
And we're very sorry, this episode is a bit later than it should have been. Mostly because we were too fucking lazy.
Well, we're very busy.
Very busy.
But yes, okay, maybe a little bit.
Maybe if you didn't take 6 hours with each bath that you took.
My bath time has nothing to do with how late our episodes are.
What?
No.
It really does. It's terrible. Anyways, so we've got a few things to catch up on. We've got a few people to say hello to. And we've got a review as well.
We do.
Yeah, and what else? Oh, we've got an emotional feelings-based talk to end later on.
Yeah, we do.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're going to lift the bonnet on a few things, aren't we?
Lift the bonnet.
Yeah.
Lift
Have
the
a
top
rummage
up.
underneath.
Lift the top up. Expose our air-laden boobs.
Wow. Because, yeah, we don't always get everything perfectly right.
Yes, that's right. We are not perfect.
As much as we like to think we are.
What? I don't think we're perfect.
You
might
think you're perfect.
Well, I may be slightly more perfect than.
So it's all a big learning curve, and we're going to have a little look at what we did.
Look at what we didn't
And what
do.
we can learn.
what we can learn from what we didn't
Yeah,
do. Don't
yeah.
do what we do what we say.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
That's
That's
pretty
what
much
parents always say. Do as I say, not what as I do.
Do as I what? Do who?
Oh, they do though, don't they though?
Do, which is quite appropriate since today we'll be talking about Townhouse.
Yes, in Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to reveal this little fact about Liverpool.
Don't sell yourself short, darling.
No. While we were walking around Liverpool, Mrs. H turned to me and said, "So, which of the Beatles were born in Liverpool?"
It was a genuine question. I mean, I knew they all hung around in Liverpool a bit, but I wasn't sure if they'd all actually been born there.
All right, and what do the Beatles sound like?
Well, do not ask me to do a Beatles impression.
Please do a Beatles impression.
No, it's not
Go on.
happening.
You'll never know how much I really love you. Go on.
No, I've only seen one Beatles film. It's like one you made me watch where they're all on a train and there's an old man with them and they just keep going on about how clean he is.
Was it a lot of effort, that film?
Yes.
Would you-
A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the one.
That's the one you saw.
Yeah, and they just kept going, oh, he's really clean there, isn't he?
No, this is untrue, actually. You've seen 2 other Beatles films.
Oh,
You've seen Magical Mystery Tour.
I probably slept through that.
Yeah, you like the I Am the Walrus bit.
Yeah, that was all right. Bit of a mindfuck, but it's all right.
There we go. And you've also seen Yellow Submarine.
I did not like that.
No, you didn't.
Nope,
I did not like that.
not one bit.
I did not like it with a fox. I did not like it in a box. I did not like green eggs and ham. I did not
Some
like
I
them.
am.
Some I am. So we went to Townhouse.
We did.
We did that. We did that this weekend. But before we get to our delightful review of Townhouse, we've got a couple of minor announcements and things to say. So the first one, we've got new fucking stickers! Yay! Everybody!
You and
woo!
your stickers.
Stickers, yes.
Yeah, and what are you going to stick them on?
Stuff. Right. Stuff, right? These stickers are transparent, right? So you can stick them on anything and it's instant merch. You got a wardrobe? Fuck it. Stick a bed hopper stick on it. Bed hopper's wardrobe.
But who's going to see the wardrobe?
Well,
Like, why would you
the
put a
sticker's
sticker
not
on?
that big. It's not like an invisibility cloak from Harry Potter and whatnot.
Why would you put a sticker on a wardrobe?
Was that not what people did as kids?
Oh, yeah, like Garbage Pail Kids
Yeah.
stickers.
Yeah.
And Care Bear stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
no one really came over and saw my wardrobe. So, like, I don't know, who are you trying to bring into your bedroom to look at your merch-laden wardrobe?
maybe the first thing you want to see when you wake up is a cartoon of our faces and our Twitter handle. That could be the one, and it reminds you to go, oh, I'll like what they've posted whilst I've been asleep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, or a glass that you know, you want a nice cool sip of Mr. and Mrs. H. You
wanna,
slap
like,
that
funk
sticker
it
on
up a
that
little
frigging
bit?
glass.
Okay.
It's a bed hopper's glass.
Uh-huh. So we're not glow in the dark, much to your disgust, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, the problem is if I got glow in the dark, you'd have only moaned at me for a while. So, and not in a good sexy way. So I've therefore got the transparent stickers that I can stick on everything. And maybe hey, I've got an even better idea. What about if I bought some glow in the dark paper and stuck the sticker onto some glow in the dark paper, and they would be glow in the dark stickers?
Okay. You have way too much time in your hands.
No, I don't. I have no time in my hands, which is why we're late recording this. So we've got new stickers. Yay!
Yay to
We might have to give some away soon,
Okay.
actually, because next episode, 41,
Yes.
not this one,
Yes.
we have been doing the Bed Hoppers podcast for a whole friggin' year.
Oh, it's our anniversary edition then.
Oh, did you do that? What was that for? That was like, oh, the Jedi are coming. It's our anniversary. Why are the Nemodians at the door? You were right about one thing, Master. Negotiations were short.
Look, that's a terrible film.
The Phantom Menace is not the worst Star Wars film.
No, you don't like Attack of the Clones.
No, I do
you?
not like Attack of the
No.
Clones.
Hmm.
It's very upsetting to me.
Is that because of all the sand getting everywhere?
It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere.
He's
Actually, that
just
was
really sulky, isn't he?
that was better acting. Actually,
And you didn't like the bit with the peach or the pear.
Oh,
thing?
the CGI pear or
Yeah,
whatever.
that transfers between them over dinner.
It's the bit where Padme falls out of the carrier craft and like goes.
Oh, yeah,
like
she's lying
like
there
she's gonna die,
prone.
and then she immediately gets up and starts running in the
Yeah.
most odd way down the hill. It's freaking ridiculous down the dune. Anyway, right,
Oh,
so
so much acting.
stickers, year-long anniversary,
Yeah.
check. Went to Townhouse, check, and we met some listeners.
Oh, they were lovely listeners.
They were very nice. So while we were in
No,
Liverpool,
they still are very nice. They were very nice.
they were very nice to meet,
Yes, they
Yes.
were lovely.
and they were very nice to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
Anyway, so we met them. So
Mm-hmm.
they're on Twitter. So Lee Rich, I believe, is their
Yes, I think so.
yeah.
You're better at Twitter than I.
Lee Rich. Anyways,
You're rich.
yeah. We gave them some of the old stickers. Sorry, guys, you got the old hat shit now. Don't worry about it though.
If only we had a wardrobe to stick them on.
Yes, exactly. And we signed a napkin. Well, in fact, one of the things they raised with us was the question of how we are counting the amount of times we have sex and when we count it.
My diary tally.
The-
And I showed them the Diary of Destiny.
well, this is the latest Diary of Destiny, of course.
Yeah, it's very cute too.
It's a little furry diary which you insist on stroking every time you get it out.
Like the fairy walls.
Yeah, stroke the furry wall. So
So I guess just to put a little preface around my tally, the science behind it, in fact, I am noting every encounter.
okay.
So the question I think was, if we had sex like 3 times in a day, would I just put 1? It's like, no,
it's
you've
3.
had it 3 times, so you put 3 little marks.
So what about in the morning, right? You gave
Yeah.
me a blowjob, yeah?
Wait a minute, it's Monday. Why would I give you a blowjob on a Monday?
Such space madness. Okay, for example, you've given me a blowjob in the morning.
Right.
We had sex when we come back from getting the shopping, and we also have sex at 11:50 p.m.
You have some grand illusions of what this Monday is going to bring. Yeah, a blowjob followed by sex, followed by something else.
No, it's just an example.
Oh, okay, fine.
So how many would that? It wasn't a fucking menu that I'm reading from. Oh, I have the blowjob hors d'oeuvres, followed by a light course of anal and a slight pudding of a bit of fisting, please.
How can you have a light course of anal?
I don't know. It's a menu option. I didn't write it. Talk to fucking Gordon
Diet
Ramsay. You gotta. He's there chopping his hands together. He's like, come on.
Less calories than your average anal.
Yes.
Okay.
You pay more, but you save on the weight.
Trying to watch my figure.
Yeah, trying to count my calories. So, so if you imagine that was what happened. You had
All right.
those
3 separate occurrences in one day.
Yes. So how would you mark that in your diary?
I just put 3 strikes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Me? Yeah,
Yes.
always.
Exactly.
I can generally see it.
So that's how you mark the calendar. And we talked with these lovely people about some of the things that we could create. We could create a pre-made calendar with lots of different sexy options that you just tick to see how many times you...
Oh, goodness. We could develop an app.
You could develop an app. And at the end, you could work out how many times you had anal or how many times...
This is heavily on your mind right now, this anal.
Well, it was starting with the A.
Okay.
Which is fine, right? That's fine.
All right. Well, let's hope you move on to B at some point. Otherwise, we'll just be like exhausted.
Yeah, A, blowjob. C, cunnilingus. D,
DP.
There we go. See?
Oh gosh, I went there already.
Yeah, you went straight to
That
the
took
DP.
a big leap of faith for a Monday.
So, anyway, that's how we've recorded on the calendar. We drew a mock-up of what this amazing calendar would look
Yeah.
like for them. And
Available in all HMV stores by the end of the year. Next to the bargainous Katy Perry
Yes.
calendar section.
There's a Katy Perry calendar.
Yes, you tell me every year about it.
Why do I?
And I
never
always refuse to buy you one.
Why?
Because a Pokemon one's way better.
No, it's not.
It is.
You know we've got a Rick and Morty one instead.
And we have
right?
a Pokemon one as well.
We do have a Pokemon. I may have indulged you slightly. Sadly, that was the one thing I did do, was indulge you with a Pokemon calendar.
I'm so lucky.
I know, right? Luckiest girl in the world. Right, okay. So hello to those guys. Thank you very much for spending some time with us. It was lovely to meet you. I hope we've not put you off this rather rambling thing.
No,
No.
I'm sure we'll come back.
No, we've not put you off at all. Right, so Townhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well done.
That's a great review. Yeah.
So Townhouse is in Liverpool.
Yes, it is.
Now, we live on the south coast of the UK, so getting to there was a good 4-hour trek.
Yeah, it was
in the car.
quite a little jaunt in the car. But I've never been to Liverpool before, so, you know, it's a nice little journey either way.
So we jumped in the car on Friday night and we stayed there at the Village Hotel, actually, didn't we? In Wirral. So we got there and I was fucking knackered because I was driving.
Mm-hmm.
And we ordered a couple of drinks because we managed to make it before the bar closed. Mm-hmm. So I got a gin and tonic and that was chucked straight in a pint glass.
Oh, my God.
and that was interesting. Well, not a pint glass, a half pint glass. Which was fine. However, it just goes to show how nice the Townhouse was when it came to pouring gin and tonics.
Yes, we shall talk about their gin.
We should talk about their gin.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, at length. So we didn't go there on the Friday. We had a whole Saturday where we just wandered around aimlessly in Liverpool.
It wasn't aimless. I caught loads of Pokemon.
You caught loads of Pokemon. You got new underwear, which we showed everyone on Twitter.
Yeah.
You got a whole load of makeup and stuff.
Yeah, you treated me.
You did pretty well, really, didn't you? Yeah. So, what time did the club open?
I think you had to be there like 8:30, but for newbie couples, you have to be at 9:30, and then last entry is 11.
So before 9:30 if you're new.
Yeah.
So we caught a cab over, and we used in the end we phoned up the cab company that they'd recommended because we couldn't get an Uber from our hotel to this place.
So on their website, it's really handy. It gives you a couple of details of taxi drivers you can use.
To be fair, their website's got tons of
loads of
tips and info.
Yeah.
And that was really, really handy. So if you're going to go there, please check it out first. Mm-hmm. So we rocked up, and we knew it was a sort of quiet-looking, outskirted pub sort of place.
there's no signage at all.
No.
Obviously, for obvious reasons, they're discreet.
You're not quite sure whether you're in the right place, and you sort of go down a little alley towards a parking spot, and there's some big open gates, and then there's a little sort of annex and a door next to it.
Yeah, I mean, the actual building from the outside looks just unoccupied,
Yeah.
generally. Like, you would not know there was anything in there.
Not derelict, but it did.
Very unassuming, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't look at it twice, really, in the street.
No, not at all. You'd probably think it was a pub that had shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know whether to knock or enter, so we just opened the door and walked on
And went in.
Yeah, why not?
Turns out it was right.
Yeah, that was the right thing to do, apparently. So we walked in, and straight away, in as you come in, there's a little reception area that had some sex toys for sale and stuff like that. In
Oh, they had
glass
some really
cabinets.
pretty jewellery in the cabinets as well.
Really pretty jewellery.
It was. I remember looking at it thinking that was a really nice little touch to have that kind of as you came in, because I immediately went, oh, look, pretty jewellery.
It was quite nice,
Yeah.
wasn't it? So as you go in, on the right-hand side, you've got a little reception area, which is kind of an extension of the bar, really, I think. And immediately we were greeted by the chap that was behind the bar. He said hello to us straight away.
And with some really cool stormtrooper helmets.
Oh, yeah, a Darth Vader helmet and a
And
couple of
some
stormtrooper
stormtroopers,
helmets.
yeah.
So it felt
Yeah.
right at home for us. And they talked us through or booked us in, really, didn't they?
Yep.
Took our details. We had to fill in a form. We had to pay to get in on the night.
It was a really straightforward process, though.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Provide an email address, and we had to provide ID as well.
Photo ID.
Photo ID. Again, simple enough. Driving license. Out we go. And then I think she's the co-owner or owner of the
Yeah,
place.
I think she's the owner.
Vicky
Well, yeah, we're co-owner with him, yeah.
Yeah, Vicky came out and said hello. Lovely lady.
Oh, she's really lovely.
Really sweet, really nice. And she started giving us a bit of a tour of the whole place.
Yeah, how long would that tour take? Maybe 20 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know whether we
It
got
was very thorough.
a very thorough tour because it was a bit quiet, but certainly it was like it was a good tour, and we got
it
to
was
see
the
all
entire
the
place.
Yeah, it was at the entire
Yeah, it
place.
was a lot of stairs.
So we'll try and recount most of the stuff that's in the place. However, if you've ever been to Townhouse, you may know that it's quite winding and there's a lot of floors because it is literally a townhouse.
Yep.
So if we get it slightly wrong...
4 levels to remember.
Yes. And given the fact that we couldn't walk around with our phone and take notes...
No, we're doing this largely from what we're trying to remember when we went up the stairs, which bit was left or right, so...
Or up or down.
Yeah.
So really, this is like a collage, as it were, of our trip around Townhouse. Now, as you go through the front door, as we said, there's a reception area. To the left, though, is a little hot tub spa area that's got a sauna, hasn't it?
Yeah, so there's some wet facilities. There was a hot tub, a nice big shower.
Yep, and you have to get in the shower before you get into the
Yeah,
hot tub.
absolutely. And some robes and towels and what have you.
And a little massage table place there.
Yeah, and some overflow lockers.
Yes. There was also, just around the corner from that, a little area you could go outside and have a smoke.
Yeah.
And there were some dressing gowns available in case it was cold or wet or whatever outside.
Yeah.
So we didn't try the hot tub,
No, we didn't.
but it looked very nice. It was all very nicely wooded done area, and yeah, it was kind
Yeah,
of,
it did look really nice, actually.
which is cool. So turning back around on ourselves, and the reason I'm giving you the directions of this is so that I can remember where I'm going, is you then go back past the reception and through into a little bar area.
Yes.
Now, the bar has over 50 different gins in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, now we were told originally 57.
But I think you've confused that with Heinz.
I have
and the
not.
varieties that Heinz have.
However, it was definitely over 50.
Definitely over 50.
It was a brilliant gin selection.
It was fantastic. But not only that, there was a good selection of tonics,
Yeah.
good quality tonics as well, but also the little sort of
There was a garnish bar.
garnished bits
like
that
that.
go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we had little slow gin berries, or it could have
I
been
think
black pepper.
so.
We're not sure what it was.
We
But
didn't eat them either
no,
way.
I wasn't going to put them in my mouth, but they were in the drink and they made the drink taste absolutely
Yeah, I
lovely.
love the fact they have a great gin selection, and it was really, really good prices for that.
Really reasonable. In fact, when we came to leave at the end of the night, they asked us just, you pay a slight deposit for your bar and
Yeah.
then you cover the rest of it. And they said, well, it's just another £5. And I was absolutely...
Are you sure?
Are you sure? And you've got everything. And they reeled off everything that we'd had. And I was just shocked because
Yeah.
I guess we're just used to higher prices down in the south.
Definitely.
So definitely a bargain
Mm-hmm.
for all the drinks and stuff. And it was all very nice. And the service was really quick. There's always a couple of people on the bar.
I liked that on the bar they were, again, we encountered a bowl of chocolates.
Oh yes, a bowl of chocolates.
I'm getting
and a bowl
used
of
to
mints.
this now. I like this little bowl of chocolates as we go into the bars.
Everywhere you go,
I think
there's
it's
a
a
bowl
nice
of
touch.
chocolates.
And there was bowls of mints and bowls of condoms everywhere,
Yes,
which was great.
not minced beef.
Ew.
A bowl of mints.
No, I like this chocolates, mints, condoms.
Yes, it's a perfect combo for you.
Yeah.
So there's a few stalls at the bar. It was quite narrow really, so there wasn't much space there.
Yeah, it's like an L shape, sort of quite narrow, long bar bit, and then there's like 3 leather settees kind of in a little L round the side of that,
Yeah,
and
and
some mirrors.
They were already full. Bearing in mind we got there about 9:15, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They were already pretty full by
Yeah,
the time we
they were.
got there. So you then go around the corner into another sort of seating area, but also an area where they do demos and things like that.
Yeah, it's obviously multifunctional. There's like a pole there on a raised sort of platform, so I'm guessing, you know, on some nights when there's no events, then they would open it up for like a little dance floor.
Yep.
And it's clear that they hold little events there as well, like open mic or comedy or singers.
Singers,
Live music.
live music, nice.
Mm.
So on the night that we were there, it was a mix of a fetish night, but also a swinging night. They call it 50 Shades of Wahey.
Well,
I think.
hey, yeah. Did you call it a swirl?
Swirl,
Is that- yeah?
well, swirl, I guess would imply sort of vanilla and swing
Lifestyle,
but
but-
lifestyle. But I think this was sort of fetish.
A
and
mashup of two.
I guess it would be a swirl. I don't know.
Yeah. But BDSM and swingers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
combined forces, which was quite cool. So, so we carried on with our tour. So that had loads of BDSM equipment in it
Yes, it did.
on the stage because there was going to be a demo that night or a couple of demos that
Yeah.
around the sort
That's
of
right.
BDSM stuff. So on that floor, still there was there was also some toilets. So there's a what do they call it?
Tubicle.
A tubicle.
Because women like to go and
Take a shit
no,
with
they
two of
do
you.
not. Women like to go to the bathroom together, apparently in twos, which is not uncommon. So there are 2 toilets in this lady's bathroom.
So what
You didn't have to take a lady with you, but you could both
but
go
you could both go at the same
for a
time.
little ninja wee at the same time.
Is
if you wanted
it the
to.
new like not having your phone with you because you're not allowed to take your phone around? So if you're having a poop, you can have your mate there and chat to them.
Come with me and keep me company.
Exactly. And then the men's were down the end, and they're just toilets, really.
Yeah, no tubicle for you.
No tubicle for me, fortunately.
Just a pubicle.
Just a pubicle. And then downstairs there was a dungeon.
Oh yeah, so if you go down first, yeah.
Down.
And you have to watch your head because it's very narrow and very steep little stairway. But you go downstairs to a really great dungeon. Actually, it's a bit nippy.
Yeah, but I think that's by design, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but it looked very authentic for a dungeon area. It was like brickwork everywhere and sort of concrete flooring, but then filled with lots of equipment.
Yeah. So it had a stretching rack. It had a work in progress coffin. I remember that.
Yeah, it was underneath the stretching rack, wasn't it? Yeah, it was
lots
fun.
of little stools and benches. There was a cock and ball
Cock and ball
torture
rack,
table,
yeah.
which I did not want to sit on at all. So yeah, that was there. And then they had a couple of jails, which was
Yeah, I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 little jail cells around the corner, which were proper metalwork.
yeah.
You know, with locks and everything, and they would put like little dog beds in there if people wanted to stay the night.
Yeah.
Which I was like, wow.
I didn't want to do.
Well, no, and it was opposite the extensive gin collection, so
Well, what you really mean is that they keep some of their drinks
Yeah, some of the
downstairs,
excess
and you can see some of the
gin bottles
storage
down there.
from the jail.
yeah,
So we had a tour of that.
yeah, it was a nice touch. I liked it.
So moving upstairs, so you come up one flight,
Yep.
and then you're on ground level again.
Mhm.
Then you go up another flight, and it splits in 2.
Yes, it
You
does.
can go right and you can go left.
Correct.
So going right, if you go immediately all the way to the right, there was
Mm-hmm.
a changing room with lockers because you get a wristband for your locker. And that's the other thing that we forgot to mention
Mm-hmm.
is actually if you're ordering drinks at the bar, you take your locker key up to them and they
Mm-hmm.
put that on your tab.
Yeah.
And that's how you pay for your drinks.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the night, you just settle that up.
Yeah. So it had coat hangers in there. It had a big thing for coats. It had locker space. I think there might have been a hairdryer or something in there.
Yeah, and I think at this point we were encouraged to put our phones away in our locker.
Yep.
At this point in the tour,
Yes.
so that I guess she had visibility that we'd locked it away.
Yeah.
So we did
And
that.
the general steer, I think, is that once it gets past 10:30, 11, if you're going upstairs, you have to be dressed for the occasion. So out of the changing rooms, and there's a bathroom there, which is helpful. I think it has a shower in it, I think.
I think all the bathrooms had a shower in.
Did they?
They were pretty good.
Okay, fine. And then across the way from the changing room was a group area, I guess.
Yeah, group play area.
So there were 2 rooms. The one on the left had a little swing on it, and that was an interesting room as it was like a platform bed.
Oh, is this like the bunk bed type thing?
Well, I think you do it a disservice calling it a bunk bed because actually you kind of go up these. Were there steps or something? I don't know. I think there were.
Double-decker bed.
Yeah, it was like a gigantic bed, but it was almost like a floor. And underneath there were 2 little hidey hole playrooms that you could play under, so you could hear all the stuff going on upstairs at the top of it.
Like an adult jungle gyms.
Yes, and adult jungle gyms with no balls out though.
No, not at the point we went in.
No. So that was one group room, and the other one sort of had like a cage along it, like bars.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can't remember. Did it have a glory hole in it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it had a female glory hole.
You sure? I think you're just making that up.
Oh, maybe I'm making shit up.
I think you're making that up. So I think there was a bar across the thing that had like it had some like net curtain type things. Had a really nice feel to it, and there were some beds in there that you could play on.
Yep, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Then backing out a bit and then going up the stairs.
Yeah, it's quite labyrinthian.
Going to the left-hand side. Now, I think, off the top of my memory, was it into the...
I think it was a BDSM room.
Yes, the BDSM room, which had lots of other kit in it as well. And then, because there was a real heavy slant to BDSM in the place, wasn't there?
Definitely. There was lots of equipment and stuff.
Lots of equipment.
2 private rooms as well.
2 private rooms.
Yeah.
And they were just like a simple bed.
Yeah, just normal, nothing, no equipment in it, just a couple of beds, really.
Yeah, nice and clean, but very simple.
Yeah.
No particular environment created in there.
No.
But that was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Then up the stairs. What was up the stairs?
There was a medical room.
A medical room. Okay.
So a lockable medical room, I might add. So there was a working medical chair in there.
Like a dentist chair.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I know they had a dentist light.
Yeah, they had a light that you could pull down as if having an oral examination.
But they also had, there was also some like metal trays in there. Gave it like a real sort of, like you were in a dentist's or doctor's office.
Yeah, medicinal theme generally.
Yes. How medicinal.
Yeah. And it was a lockable door, as they say.
I think so. I think there was another bathroom further up the stairs.
Yeah, there were just tons of bathrooms.
Then further upstairs again. I'm not sure how many levels there are.
4 levels in total.
Then
there was a group room right at the top.
Group room right at the top that had like that single guys aren't allowed in.
Correct.
Even if they're invited, I don't think.
That's right, and then a very small private room as well.
Yes, I think that sums up the venue.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've kind of rushed over those last rooms. But
to be fair, it was, as I say, very labyrinthine in its kind of twisty-turny little nooks and crannies. So it's difficult to remember without kind of going around taking pictures, really, of the exact layout. So we've done our best from memory.
Yeah. So as you're going up the stairs into the first floor, on the right you've got the bathroom, the changing rooms, and then on the left-hand side of that once you've turned right, you've also got the 2 group areas.
Yeah.
If you were to go left up the stairs, then you'd hit the BDSM room and then the 2 private rooms.
Yeah.
Up the stairs again, I think you'd find the medical room and another play area maybe.
Yeah, and a group room at the top.
And then right at the top there'd be a couple of group areas and that sort of stuff there. I think that's about it. We've probably got that absolutely wrong and our memory has not served us well. However, we didn't really write any notes until the day after, and which case...
And of course you can't go around taking photos. So.
No. So, what did we think of the actual club?
Wow. Did you want to cover any of the demos that went on that night?
Good point. So, on the night, there were 2 demos.
It was the 50 Shades of Way.
Yes. So, the first demo was very much a sensual touch, and that was Mistress Sapphire. Yeah, Mistress Sapphire.
And it was a sensuous play demo.
Yeah. So, she had a young lady on a sort of massage bench. And... she was sort of tickling her with feathers.
Fellas?
Had a spur type thing out, and I don't know what the correct
pinwheel
name is.
thing.
Pinwheel, that's it. And was just using some light touch and some sensual play.
There was some fur, lots of different sensation type things, really.
Yeah. So this went on for sort of about half an hour or so.
Yeah, it was very soporific.
It was. I mean, I think it was really nice to see that, and she talked through what she was doing, and people had the chance to ask questions, and the room was packed watching this.
Yeah, totally.
I think for my money's worth, it went on for a bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself just gently, sort of slowly winding down, watching this whole experience. It was nice and it was sensual to watch, but it wasn't exciting in any way, because really it's just someone being played with a blanket and a feather and a whatever.
It was a hairbrush as well.
Hairbrush. But and there were some really nice ideas. So if you've never encountered that type of stuff, it would probably set you, it would give you your first foray into that type of world.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, we've seen a few of those things. We've done demos with them before.
Yeah.
So that was okay. But we stayed and watched that. But we were told that the second demo would be a lot more naughty. So instantly we were like, we're not giving up, because we got a sofa in the demo room. We weren't going to give that up for love nor money, because it had A, a view, and B, it was comfy, and it had a table so you could put your gin and tonic on
And
it.
plus these demos were well over an hour in total.
Well, the second one,
that.
it took the guy a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, but we
set up.
didn't know how long it was going to be for him to finish his setup. So we kept thinking, oh, any minute now. And,
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then
and
it
this-
turned into like 40 minutes.
Overall, the demos went on well past 12 o'clock at
Oh,
night.
yeah.
Which is fine, but it sort of ate up the entire night. But the second guy, so he...
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith. So the second demo, should I say, was run by Mr. Smith. So he had a chap with him, and he also had his partner with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did 2 demos at once and talked his way through it. But it took a long time to set up. The chap he had with him, he put into a leather body bag.
Yeah.
And then
Tied him down to
blindfolded
the bench.
him, tied him down to a bench, and then basically sort of did a bit of cock and ball torture, as far as I could tell, with some electrodes.
Yeah, yes. We weren't close enough to the business end to see these sounding rods, I believe they were.
Yeah, I think he put a silicon sounding rod down him.
The Jap side.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
I don't
cringing.
think you can call it that, dear.
Oh, well, it's a colloquialism, isn't it?
That's not a colloquialism. Anyway, apologies.
Down the pee hole.
Down the pee hole. Oh dear, here we go. We'll never make sex educators, I can tell you that.
No.
No. So, anyway, he had a silicon sounding rod, and the reason he had a silicon one is because at one point previously he told us of a story where the guy had shoved the reaction inside the guy, had fired this out like a cannon, and it narrowly missed his eyes.
Yeah.
So the silicon one is done for safety. I believe it also conducts electricity as well, I think.
Either way, it did not look pleasant.
Well, it didn't.
And even though I don't have a willy, I was very much cringing at the thought of this rod thing going down it.
It didn't. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on the idea, if I'm
No.
really honest.
No.
So we watched that, and while he was doing that, he also had put his partner in a sort of straitjacket, a leather straitjacket, so it wasn't like an asylum style one.
No.
And he said that was important because it didn't sort of cause shoulder problems.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff
were
with the
some
way-
stories of people who'd got like trapped nerves and things in the asylum ones.
She looked quite comfortable in this. So she was strapped to this chair with her legs strapped apart, blindfolded.
And she had no ability to hear either. Did
No,
she?
he
She
put some headphones on over her. Mm-hmm. So she was completely deprived of sight and being able to hear. And then he also strapped some electrodes to her.
Like TENS machine style things.
Those sit-up machines, I guess.
So the little conducting pads, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
put
he
a couple of those
attached some of those to her clit.
Oh, God.
And he turned it up until it was just enough for her to feel it, and then let it just constantly vibrate.
So this demo, we should point out, was an orgasm denial demo.
Yes. So the idea is that he had a wand, and he kept putting the wand to her, getting to the point of climax, and stopping, and then repeating and repeating. And I thought she was going to bust out of that thing and murder him, because I think that's what you'd have done.
Quite possibly, although I'm not keen on the electric bit.
No. So it was a really good demo, and the guy gave plenty of opportunity to ask questions. He talked through the equipment. He talked through the what he does, how it works.
He was a really funny guy.
Yeah, he was a bit of a comedian, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah, I think his patter included lots of sort of quips and little jokes here and there, and then he'd suddenly like go back to both his his willing participants.
You're going to say victims then,
I
weren't you?
was, and he would like obviously give them a little bit more of stimulus, and then he'd come back to the jokes again. So it was quite a funny demo to watch, really.
Now, because this was going on, and I have to say the demos were excellent, and they were a really good sort of intro into that sort of thing.
Definitely.
But because they were happening, what we found is that no one was really talking particularly.
No, because you needed to be quiet for the demos, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear what they were saying. So
the
they were
other thing-
very encouraging of everyone being quiet.
Being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that even during the setup, people were trying to jostle for their seats so they could see what was going on. So it didn't really invite a lot of conversation amongst the thing.
No, because you'd have to give up your real estate to go and mingle and make some conversation. And I guess because we didn't know how long it was going to be until it started, we kind of staunchly held on to our settee, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we clung to our seats for quite a while.
Yeah, we did.
So once the demo ended, we kind of wandered around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go upstairs and have a look and see if anything was going on, and really try and remind ourselves of the layout of the place. Clearly, that didn't work.
Yeah, and by this time the bar was quite rammed, so you couldn't. I don't know. It didn't lend itself very well to go in and just start chatting people, because people had already kind of got in their little groups, I think. And we kind of went floating around a little bit. Well, what do we do now?
Yeah, and we went up to the little changing area, and in order to be able to view the place, as we said, you had to dress down.
Yeah.
So we did that. You weren't happy really doing that. You weren't that comfortable. Just
Well, for some whatever reason, and this is my own fault, I hadn't really considered what I would dress down into. And I'm quite happy wandering around with no clothes on generally, but it felt a little perfunctory, like I was just disrobing for the sake of having a nose around.
Mm.
And I don't know, I couldn't get my head around it. I kept thinking, well, I haven't bought anything to change into, and I couldn't work out why I hadn't done that. So maybe I just hadn't really researched in advance that I would have to disrobe if I wanted to wander around the upper levels. So it's my own fault.
It is. You should have read it beforehand. I read it. I knew what was going on.
Well, but, equally dressing down for the guys was a little less daunting because it was just boxer shorts.
Well, you could have worn some clothing that covered up your boobs, because effectively that's what was out,
Yeah.
wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I suppose I could. But anyway, it didn't really work out so well. And I got a little bit, this is weird. I'm just taking my clothes off to have a look round.
Well, we ended up doing that, had a wander around for 10 minutes, and then really we just didn't feel it and decided to go home.
Yeah. So,
And we'll talk about that
Yeah,
in a little bit. But really, this is about the review of the club.
exactly.
For this part. So overall, I thought the club was pretty well maintained. It did have some elements of being a little bit shabby, but I know they're putting a lot of investment into improving it in the long term. So they're doing a new bathroom, they're doing a new medical chair. I thought the dungeons facilities had a lot of work, and they came across really well.
Definitely. I got the impression it was a real labour of love for her. She clearly had enjoyed putting a lot of effort into bringing it back to a bit of glory.
Yeah, it definitely got the sense of pride in that. Certainly for the BDSM areas were felt very much like they'd had a lot of thought put into them. I actually thought the group rooms were pretty good as well. They actually had a lot of fun elements to them, from the swing to the double height thing, the little cubby holes for those of us that don't like going up so high. And I thought that was really nice. One thing I didn't like, though, is I felt that actually there wasn't much set up for chatting, for conversation. The bar area itself was quite small, and people sort of congregated around the bar, which is fine. But once those sofas were full, and there wasn't much space there really wasn't. It was quite difficult to get yourself in there for conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you were having an odd day like we were having, it really didn't facilitate conversations like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, possibly the fact that we went on a crossover night that wasn't quite our bag may have contributed a little bit to that. But equally, I agree with what you're saying about the bar not quite having the right vibe for maybe chat.
Yeah. I thought the selection of drinks was fantastic.
I was going to say, it's so reasonable.
Very, very, very reasonable.
Cost-wise, I was so impressed.
The whole thing was fantastic cost-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, the cost to get in, the cost of drinks, I was absolutely stunned at it. And if you were local, value for money, it would be fantastic.
Oh, tremendous value for money.
Really good.
Oh, I got a minor quibble I haven't mentioned.
Go on then.
Very minor. But there was somebody vaping next to us when we were sitting watching the demos.
Yeah, there was. I don't know if that's allowed or not.
I don't know if it's allowed or not. Personally, it just didn't. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like being like sat in clouds of perfumed smoke.
Well, it wasn't just one person; it was a couple that were vaping between themselves.
And I wasn't sure on the sort of policy around vaping. I mean, they were very clear about smoking outside, but I don't know where we stand with vapes. So there's a minor quibble.
So we didn't try the wet facilities, but they looked pretty good. Everything looked clean, which is clearly very important. And I know a lot of people always say that about clubs, but you'd expect it to be.
Yeah.
I think the bar staff were friendly and helpful. I thought the way that the rules were given across, all the consent stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, very reassured by that.
The tour was great.
Oh, completely agree.
And I think the hostess did an amazing job.
Yeah, she was terrific. I also want to mention there's a really good cab system.
Yes.
So when we were ready to leave, we were sort of all, do we get an Uber? Do we phone a taxi? But they actually had a black cab driver there.
You can't call him that.
He had a black
so
cab.
Racist.
You're so wrong. But I thought that was a really nice touch that they had someone on hand who could just deal with taxi service.
I don't know if he's there every night.
No,
though.
I don't. But we were lucky on that night that he was. So
yeah. So
and they have got details of local taxi companies. So
yeah, so that was quite helpful. Because Uber was an absolute waste of time there.
Yeah.
So if you are staying locally, I'd definitely say use the companies that they recommend on the website. The information provided on the website was really helpful and really good when you paid attention to it.
Are you implying I should have read ahead?
Maybe you should have read ahead. I think overall, I thought the place was pretty good. I was a bit. I felt like the opportunity for conversation wasn't. It didn't feel like it was kitted out to have really great conversation and chats. Now that may have been partially because of the night that was there, because we were sat watching demos and thus we didn't get into that frame of mind about it. But at the same point, it felt that when you went back into the bar, it was very much that there wasn't space to sit down and rock up to a table and have that conversation. And people seemed very guarded over their sort of chair property and guarding their real estate that they taken, as were we really, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I think there is a bit of a, I think if I was to see anything improve, maybe that demo room might be a little bit of a better space to have more conversations and have some open, area for that. But it might have just been the night. It might have just been us being funny. So that I didn't find it particularly conducive for meeting people.
But again, nice to go if you knew people who were going and you could all meet up there.
Yeah.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, definitely say that. But I think actually rocking up, people didn't seem. I mean, everyone seemed to be chatting away. Not just not to us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we're just not that popular. I think that's what it is. Oh me, oh my, another rainy day. So I think overall, I enjoyed the place. I would definitely recommend that you go and check it out. Out of 10, Mrs. H, what would you give it?
A good 7.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think it's a good 7. I think with a bit of work or a bit more work, I think it could be really, really great. I think it could, the facilities for the dungeoners, all that sort of stuff was great. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely go. You'll probably find that it's a 9 or 10 for you if that's your cup of tea. It's not normally our thing, particularly. No. We like a bit more variety. So for that reason, we'd probably call Townhouse a good 7.
I think a good 7 is fair.
Cool. Special shout outs and thank yous to the people that work there, that got in touch, that recommended it, for the people that saw us when we were there. We're very sorry for the people that we missed over there. It seems that because we were a little bit short notice turning up, we weren't able to catch up with everybody we wanted to. So apologies, guys. If we're in the area, we would definitely go back. I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Right. Now the special feature. So, welcome to our special feature for today. The other thing we should really mention that we haven't really done is apologise, because we're very, very late for getting this episode out. We're like a week late. It's been a bit of a challenging time in Bedhopper household, and I think the reason for that is we have one teen left in the house, and he has subsequently split up with his girlfriend. So what that's meant is that he is at home
A lot.
a lot, which means in terms of being able to record,
Yeah, it's challenging.
It's a lot more challenging. So, and generally, if he goes out the door, there's the opportunity of, hey, do we have some sex or do we record the show? And Sex wins. So sorry, gentle listeners. In your face, I had some sex and didn't record a podcast. However, I could be having some sex now, and I'm recording this, so I'm doing all right.
Shall we just hurry up then?
Yeah, let's get it. This is a special feature. This will be done very quickly, and thank you, goodbye. Thanks for hopping to our beds. Bye! Love you, hang up. You guys hang up first. Bye! Special feature then. Right. So the reason why we thought we'd talk about this is because we went to Townhouse, and really, we didn't make any effort, I'm going to say. And I'm going to make sweeping statements because, it's not like I'm known for making smaller ones. We didn't make any effort to talk to anyone.
I think we came away feeling disappointed with ourselves.
We're not angry. We're just disappointed.
We could take our glasses on and off again.
I would look over the top of my glasses in the mirror.
Give ourselves a disapproving look.
Yes, I would take a selfie of a disapproving look.
Well, it's interesting. We refer in our little opening song that we sometimes fuck things up and we make mistakes.
Yeah.
And whilst those mistakes are a lot less these days than they used to be,
yeah,
the fact is we don't always get things right.
We also talk about our sexy dates, and we had none because we were a bit insular.
We were, and insular is probably the best way of describing it. We took ourselves off into our own little bubble as usual. And I say as usual because it is a default move for us. And we've worked really hard, I think, over the last year to break that little silo. And here we were, ensconced in our own little cocoon again.
Yeah, and I think, there's been a few occasions where we've been particularly bad for this. I think we've been to sort of large socials where we've just not spoken to people. Many, right at the start of our journey, and we just sat there not pushing the boat out at all. And I think we did that a little bit with Desire as well. I think we sort of shut ourselves off a bit to the rest of the world.
But it's interesting that that's our default, that we take ourselves off into ourselves kind of and retreat a little bit. And that's not because we're not outgoing and we don't know how to have fun. I think it's our comfort zone.
Yeah, I
Very
think it is.
easy to kind of just rely on each other as being our entertainment.
Well, I think there's a couple of things to this. I don't think we like huge groups particularly, or it's not our default setting.
No.
So when we're presented with a huge group, and a huge group could be more than two people.
Oh my God, there's 4 people in the room. I'm so overwhelmed right now.
Oh God. I think we do withdraw a little bit. And I think unless we know that all the people there, our default is to just sit down and talk to each other.
Because we're comfortable.
And sit back and observe the world, which is great for us, but not so great if we're trying to build connections. In fact, we get a bit crap when it comes to building connections sometimes.
Would you say some of this is down to confidence as well?
I think some of it is down to confidence. Some of it is laziness. I think we kind of, it's, if our own company is awesome as we think it is for each other, then it's kind of like, well, actually, why bother reaching out? I think we also do a bit of a move where if we look around and there's no one that's really grabbing our fancy, we will literally go, we're not bothered tonight, let's go home.
We're really bad for that.
And I think, particularly at Townhouse, there wasn't anyone that was really catching our fancy.
Not on a little kind of an instant scan around, but then equally, as you say, we were quite insular in that we sat on our settee and we didn't really maybe give ourselves the chance to wander around and look at everybody.
Well, and I think part of that was due to the way that the night was set up, in that we grabbed our real estate and then we watched the demos and they went on for a number of hours, which was fine. But by the same token, we also didn't step up and talk to other people.
No.
And by the time we got out of those demos and looked around, actually everyone was already ensconced in groups. People were going off to play, or they'd been talking in a different room while the demos were going on.
Yeah.
So I felt as though we probably should have chucked ourselves out there a bit more and forced ourselves into some conversations, but you really weren't in that mood.
It's interesting. If the demos hadn't been on that night, I do wonder if things might have unfolded a little differently. I'm not saying that we don't.
Well, we'd have gone home at 11.
No, because I know what you're saying, and we had allowed ourselves to to get back into that sort of introvert comfort zone again. But equally, if we hadn't been sat watching, giving ourselves a reason not to talk to anyone, which was the demos went on for a good couple of hours, and in my mind, I suppose it was almost giving myself, oh well, I've got to sit here for 2 hours because there's demos and I don't want to miss those.
Yeah, I think.
But actually, if it hadn't been demos, what else would we have done? We would have had to have gone out into the crowds and talk. Because why else would you be there? No,
I get what you're saying, and I agree that didn't help us. I think though, we did that whole, for me, it was part of we looked around, there wasn't anyone immediately going, wow, and no one came up to us either.
No.
And I think that's the other thing, is that if people don't come to us, often we get a bit, all right, we're not feeling this.
Oh, goodness.
But that sounds terrible.
It does sound awful.
But often...
But actually, self-reflection is really important. And at least we're aware that that's what we do.
Yeah.
We've got to get out of that habit.
We've been told that we do that. We've observed that we do that. And we just totally played to that on that night. And I think, we can push ourselves out there. We can introduce ourselves to people. We can interact and we can mingle quite effectively. We've done it on a number of occasions. It's just, I think, in this situation with the demos, not that they're to blame. I think with your strange frame of mind about getting naked as well, because you've had a bit of a wobbly about that.
A wobble.
Yeah,
about my wobbles.
Yeah. And I think between us, because we just didn't push the boat out, and because I think we'd actually been quite insular in the car as well for a long time, of sort of the previous day, that we'd had all that time chatting together, we'd sort of compounded into ourselves a bit, I think. So we ended up just not really chatting to anyone.
I think that's fair.
Which I think, as a result, I mean, it was quite difficult to objectively review the place if you don't have a great experience.
But part of that experience, as you say, we kind of self-perpetuated that by not really going out there and trying to be social.
Yeah, I think this is, it is certainly something that we're mindful of. The interesting thing is that we've got an event coming up in just a week.
Oh my God.
Where we're in a house full of, I don't know,
lots of people we haven't met before.
10 other fucking swinging couples. And then another 12 couples turning up for a party. Mm-hmm. Of which we know one couple we know two couples going.
We do.
We've met the hosts, or we know the hosts, and we've met one or two of the others.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Broadly speaking, though, there's no reason why we can't go to that event and make some new good connections.
No, there's no reason at all.
Other than our own ability to be insular.
Yeah.
And fucking rude.
Yeah, exactly. And...
we are sometimes. We do probably come across as being a bit fucking rude.
Well, and that's
unintentionally.
I think unintentionally. I think you have developed a resting bitch face that is possibly one of the best I've ever seen.
I don't think it's ever been beaten by anyone.
No, I think your ability to look down your nose is also undefeated.
It's unrivaled.
Yeah,
I've been doing that a lot for many years, so it's habitual now in my physiology. I can't not look down my nose at people. Well,
there is that, and I think I tend to, believe it or not, be a little bit quiet in larger groups.
It's funny because you are so, I would say you're very confident, but actually I know deep down you're probably quite shy.
Very shy.
Oh.
If any ladies want to volunteer to help me break my shyness, I'll happily.
But as I said, at least we are very aware of the things that we do which don't maybe lead to great connections sometimes, and that's really useful because at least we can learn from it and try and work on it.
Yeah, it was an interesting night because it got to 12:30, something like that, and I turned around to you and said, look, we're calling this night, there's no point us staying here, because you were clearly not in the mood to mingle. You were clearly unhappy about getting changed.
Well, it was a perfect storm. It was just all sorts of weird stuff like going. I was like, I don't want to take my clothes off because what was the point? And we hadn't really made any attempt or connection with people, so there was that. But then I felt like, oh my God, it's a massive waste of time not to at least try and do something. So it was just a hot mess.
And I think really, my frustration is that we've driven for 4 or 5 hours or whatever it was specifically go to Liverpool to
know.
review this place.
Yeah. And that's why I was so annoyed when you said, oh, let's go home now. I'm like, oh man, but what's a waste of time.
Yeah, but
and then I realised what you were saying, which
Yeah.
was why make it into something it's not going to be.
Because, we clearly hadn't put any feelers out.
No.
We clearly hadn't made any great connections or tried to work our way into any connections. So actually, it was what we're going to do.
Flogging a dead horse, weren't we?
We were a bit. And I think, when faced with the option of, okay, playing in a club that's got some kit or whatever in it, or going back to a nice sexy hotel room with the two of us where we can sit in bed and eat nachos and have sexy times, I know what you're going to choose. I know where you're going to go. So for me, it was a case of, well, actually, let's not waste our time sitting here. Let's go back to the hotel and let's have
try
some fun
and
together.
remedy some of it.
Yeah. Which is a shame, really, because we did travel all that way, and we've tried really hard. We've talked about this a lot. Not to let it mar our experience of the club, because the club itself was good, and it was a nice place. And as we've said, there's been a lot of good things about it. Sure, there's improvements that could be made, but overall, it was a good place.
Yeah, and it wasn't the club's fault that we had our heads up our asses.
Yeah, that's true. So we had to pull our heads out of our asses, start finger popping each other's assholes, and there's a lot of ass activity in whatever these phrases are.
It really is, isn't there? But
So-
I think it's actually really good in a way that it's happened before we go into yet another big event, where at least now we're going to be very aware, and I think we'll probably redouble our efforts to kind of be social and make sure that we mingle. And
Is
don't be
the
so
Emperor
silly.
arriving? We shall redouble our efforts.
I knew you were going to say that.
The Emperor is not as forgiving as I. So, I think also looking at what we've got coming up this year, we've got some fairly big trips.
We really
on the
have.
cards.
And they require us to not be dicks.
Don't be dicks.
Yeah.
That's our... Maybe we should get that on a t-shirt. Mrs. H says, don't be a dick.
I remember years ago when I first met you, you insisted that your motto in life was always, yesterday I was a dick.
That's true. It still
I
is my
remember
motto.
you saying it distinctly.
It is. Yesterday I was a dick, therefore today I can be better.
Yeah.
And I still live by that. So today I'm going to be better than I was yesterday.
Woo! You were great yesterday.
What did I do yesterday?
You took me out and we saw Captain Marvel and we had some wine and we had... Yeah, it was a fun day.
We had a fun day.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough then.
So today you're going to be better.
Yes, this is awesome. Well, I'm here podcasting. I should be doing something even more awesome than this awesomeness that I'm displaying.
It's a good motto to adopt, though.
So, if people what are listening are having similar thoughts or similar issues where they disappeared up their own asses, or they look down at people, feel that they that's the impression they give off, or they stay quite insular and they want to be part of the crowd, what can they do to not do that?
Okay, I hate to say it, but my downfall is always seating. I know it's my Achilles heel. I like to be
Seating?
comfortable because I'm always wearing high heels to these
You
events.
lazy
Fucking lazy.
wench.
I know I am. I'm being very honest. If I see a seat, I will make a beeline for it because I don't want to stand up. Because...
But you wait. We'll go and meet people now, and they'll always be carrying like a travel seat around with them. They'll be like, "There you go."
That is probably one of my biggest downfalls because I put comfort over the social interaction.
Yeah.
And that's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my own fault for wearing high heels that I always end up wanting to like sit down and not stand on them. Great. But equally, it means you have no option but to wait for people to come to you. If you're going to insist on sitting on your bum all night, then how can you possibly hope to be sociable?
I know.
You can't. So I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to give up my want of comfort over social interaction.
Does this mean the bare necessities approach? They'll come to me.
So tip number 1, don't just opt for a seat. Go and get out there and talk to people, not just sit down.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What else?
Why am I like master of all these tips?
Well, because I'm asking. I want your tips.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Seating.
Good answer. I like it.
All right. No, I've got a good one. So approach some people as a couple. So I don't think a divide and conquer strategy necessarily would work for us. So sending each other off into the crowds and meeting up again in half an hour, like, who did you speak to? I think it's probably good to approach them as a couple together.
Yeah.
introduce ourselves as a couple.
But what if your other half has an amazing resting bitch face that scares other people away? How would
Your
you deal
face
with
is
such
fine,
a situation?
darling. You're talking about me, aren't you? I
No.
don't scare people away.
Yes, you do.
So what, you're going to introduce me as, this is my wife, I know she looks like fucking evil, but just ignore her.
Don't look at her face, look at her tits.
I'm not Medusa. Jesus. You can only look at me in a mirror.
Yeah, that's right. Just, it's rather than, hey, my eyes are up here, love. No, keep looking down that way. Don't look up. Don't look up until you've...
Or maybe like the Harry Potter, I'm petrifying people.
No, it's more like a hippogriff or whatever they are, where you have to sort of bow.
Fuck you. I'm not a hippogriff.
Yeah, and give you some treats first before you'll talk to people
Very
nicely.
proud creatures, hippogriffs, have you know?
Watch her, Harry.
Got to earn their trust.
Exactly. So maybe...
Then maybe I'll let them ride on me.
Right. So maybe it's like when people... meet Yoko occasionally, we'll give them like a treat or a toy to give to her. So people that are coming to visit us
like a
fairly soon,
pacifier.
we'll get a Yoko treat to give to the dog so that they can, they bridge that.
So do you want to give me some like dog treats then, and I can like go into the crowd ahead of you and like give people
Well, no, I'd have to go into the crowd ahead of you.
Okay, fine.
So this, it'd be like, I don't know.
Excellent.
Like little kittens or something, or little glasses of Prosecco. If someone approached you with a glass of Prosecco and went, there you go.
I'd be all smiles, wouldn't I?
You would be all smiles, it would work.
But, if they drank my Prosecco in front of me...
Yeah.
Then
you'd stab
all hell
them.
would break loose.
You'd take off your not so flat stilettos and use it to smack them across the forehead.
Okay, fine. I will work on my resting bitch face.
All right, that's fine. I'll teach you how to smile.
I know how to
when
smile.
When the dog tries to smile, she does a dog smile. I think that's what you're going to do.
You make me sound like such an intolerant little witch. I do smile.
Of course you do.
People do like me.
I know
I'm
they
just very up for myself sometimes.
I think for me, what I need to do is just be a little bit braver, actually, and a bit more sticking my face in people's faces, really.
A little bit.
How
do you think other people do it? How do you think people mingle and get to know each other?
Well, it seems to be a social skill they've developed over a long period of time, the likes of which seems to have avoided me. However, if there was a room full of people playing games online, or some sort of robot convention, there I can,
like Flynn.
I can excel at those things.
Like a tramp on chips.
Tramp on chips, yeah. So I can, I think it's just pushing yourself and getting yourself out there. But I think the timing of that is crucial. And I think quite often we sit down and wait and look around and give, sort of survey the scene. When really we should probably be working our way through the crowd. Not in that kind of way. That would be hard.
I agree, because when we meet people socially by arrangement, so if we were to meet a couple by arrangement,
yep,
there is no issue whatsoever in both of us being social.
No,
we get on really well. In fact, we meet again. It's always really nice. And we can socialise admirably.
And I would say in a group of
throwing ourselves into a group of unknowns.
Yeah, even if we had a group of people that we knew, we're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just mingling with people that we don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe I need like a new business card that that gives away
or
all
a new
my
sticker.
details. We're getting other stickers, more stickers.
I
know. No.
What?
Other stickers.
Wait, what? There's more new stickers?
Wait, what? Yeah. See? There are more stickers coming. These are just rounded stickers of the transparent ones.
Okay.
So we're gonna introduce those soon.
Is that going to be your technique then going forward? You're going to go in with like a t-shirt cannon and just
thump, thump, thump. That's it.
And like fire bed hopper stickers
have,
at people.
Bows and arrows, there's stickers on them. I don't know why there's so much like wood around, but I suppose we would be in a sex club.
Really handy, yeah.
Yeah.
You can like go on with your Robin Hood.
Couldn't see the wood for the trees. Yeah.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I think what we'll do is continue to try and be better, to not be a dick yesterday or be less of a dick today, and make sure that we push ourselves out there a little bit. I think the other thing is that the people that we hang around with tend to be quite quiet too. So maybe there is something around meeting new people and putting ourselves in different situations and just getting used to it. I think, we kind of... It was interesting because the last club we went to was a lot more intimate. And we were a bit better about talking to people.
Yeah.
But what we realised in hindsight is actually many of those people came to us.
Once again.
It was the old bare necessities approach. So, I think we need to... Although we did chat to that couple.
We did.
So,
we chatted to quite a few people.
Oh, we need a
much
Scooby
better.
snack. Where's our glass of Prosecco to celebrate this? So I think, our plan is to try and push ourselves out there, be a bit more mindful of the timing of when we do that. And really just trying to be cognizant of introducing ourselves and
And
being a
not
bit
have
more
your lazy
social.
wife just sit down.
Yeah, lazy, snooty wife.
Oh my God. You make me sound awful.
Yeah.
Lazy, snooty wife.
LSW.
Don't you dare get that on a sticker.
That's gonna be...
No.
It is. It's gonna be a t-shirt and everything. I might even get a tattoo with that on it. Lord Snootington. Lady Snootington.
You could get it put on your filthy towels, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. The filthy towel co. They'll be all right. Yeah, Lady Snootington will cope
Got a
with
new
that.
design for it.
Yeah, it's resting bitch face. There she is in all her glory. So we hope that us discussing this has helped you if you're one of those people that doesn't really integrate themselves very well. I know we don't have a great deal of ideas about how to chuck ourselves out there.
I do. I've told you not to just go and sit down.
So,
That's the biggest takeaway.
So when I said I know we don't have many ideas, so we've got one.
But it's a real good one.
So if you're going out to a
It's
club,
amazing.
don't sit down.
Yeah. It's gold.
Don't go on the moors. Don't sit down on the sex club.
Well, now you've made it sound just stupid.
Well, you did that yourself. And as if you've got any ideas for us to be more social or for us to put ourselves out there, we'd love to hear from you. And the way you can get in touch is by turning up to our house with breakfast tomorrow morning at around about 9 a.m.
Or you could get your lazy, snooty wife to put her Pokemon friend code on some napkins and just go forth into some crowds like I did before.
No. If there was a Pokemon deal there, you'd be all over that shit.
All over that shit.
If every person that you maybe that's it. Every person that you speak to could be a new poker friend.
Oh my God. I would have so many friends.
I know you would have so many friends and so many poker presents. So
imagine that.
I know.
Maybe I'll just treat the next event as a potential Pokemon community.
Maybe.
I don't think that will go down well with our lovely hosts.
No, I don't think.
Could you tell Lady Snootington over there to stop writing her friend code on all our cookware?
So writing it on cocks.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the venue turned out to be a Pokestop?
No, it wouldn't be.
I'd be there in the hot tub like every 10 minutes, like refreshing it. The Pokestop. Obviously.
Really? Oh, yeah. Obviously so. All right. So, thank yous for this week or for this edition. Firstly, thank you to the lovely Vicky at Townhouse for letting us around, showing us around. Thank you for the lovely people that got in touch to tell us where to go, that tried to meet us and that failed. Thank you for the people that did turn up and were able to meet us. It was really nice catching up with you guys. Yeah. We were glad to give you some of the old stickers and offload some of our merch. We had a poker lamp in the post.
Oh my God, yeah.
From the lovely Kate from Swinging Down Under.
I love it.
I know, we didn't know it was from Kate until we put a message out on Twitter.
Yeah, but I love it.
But you got a poker lamp, so people do send you poker presents.
Yay.
If you want our friend code for Pokemon, you're going to have to email us. I think you've friended 6 people in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've made some new poker friends.
So, yeah, how can you do that and not actually...
I know. Maybe this is my secret strength. I have to be the very best.
Like no one ever was.
I tell you what, I'll teach you and you teach me. You're going to lose your shit in a minute, aren't you?
I am going to lose my shit. So, any other thanks that we need to apply this week?
Sorry, I was musing about Pokemon.
I know what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Any other thank yous that we need to send or offer this week?
No.
No. You sure?
Yes.
Good grief. Where can people get in touch?
Oh,
Ooh, baby, I love your way.
Is that a clue?
To what? Where they can get in touch? No, you just went, ooh.
Well, they could.
Wow.
They could go on the old Twitter.
Oh, yeah. And what's that then?
It's Bedhoppers UK.
No, what's Twitter?
Oh, it's a pain in the arse if you ask me. But there you go.
So Bedhoppers UK on Twitter.
Yeah.
Please tweet us, message us. If you want some stickers, I think we've got a couple left that we're prepared to send out. So if you want one of the awesome ones, tweet us. Yeah.
All right, tweetheart.
Yeah, thank you.
And then email. Have you given out email address?
Did you hear me give it out?
I was thinking about Pokemon, I'll be honest.
All right, it's bedhoppersuk@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Send us an email. That would be awesome. At Fab Swingers, we're Bedhoppers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get in touch with us then. Send us a friend request. We'll always add friends to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Not just poker friends, but Fab friends.
But obviously priority will be given to poker friends.
And if you feel really in a good mood and that you really want to spoil us, we would love some iTunes reviews. It would be nice for you to jump on there and give us one of them.
Give us one.
Go on, give us one of them. Go on, you know you want to. But if you don't, then don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, and if you just got shit to say, then don't bother. So
well,
fine.
if people have got shit stuff to say, if they're listening, they're going, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in the entire life and I hate this, then well done for making it this far. Because fuck me, I wouldn't have stuck around this long. But also, you know, put it on the iTunes review. You might as well do, and let other people know. Because you know, if you don't like it, then someone else probably won't.
All right.
I think that's how it works, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, totally. Right. Anyway, Mrs. H, do the thing.
Well, thank you for hopping into our bed.
So we were at a good friend's the other week, and one of the things that popped up was the conversation around fellatio, right? And I think the phrase that I'm actually looking for is what? Auto-fellatio? Self-fellatio? Like the ability that if you could suck your own cock, would you? Now, the guys in the room clearly felt that if you could suck your own cock, would you ever leave the house? No.
You unequivocally all said we would totally do that if we could.
I would totally suck my own cock.
And
if I could.
was aghast, frankly.
I was aghast. What were you aghast about?
Like, why would you do that?
If you could go down on yourself, would you?
No.
Why not?
It's weird.
Do you play with yourself with your fingers?
That's different.
Why?
Well, it's different.
Why is it different?
I just don't see... Why would you put your own junk in your mouth?
Because it would probably feel good.
Would it?
Well, I'm assuming so.
But that's weird.
Why is it weird?
I just think it's so weird.
Why?
I can't get... Well, I was going to say I can't get my head around it, but clearly nor can you, because
No.
you've never been able to self-fillet.
I mean, I'm sure every guy must have tried at some point.
Have you genuinely tried?
I'm sure I must have tried.
Oh my God. It's like so strange. And then it moved on a step further and I was like, fine, if you could put your junk in your mouth, would you let yourself come in your mouth?
Probably.
And you were both like, yeah. Like, why? That's weird.
Why is that so weird?
Because isn't it something that other people do for you that is like a bit of a, oh, that's nice.
Well,
Why would you do it yourself?
Well, it'd be like having a wank. This, you know, someone else can wank you off, or you can wank yourself off. It's an option.
No, you're inherently lazy. We know this. So, you know, wouldn't it be better for someone else to do that for you?
Of course it would. But if there was no one else around and there was no one in the house, then I would probably do it myself, given the opportunity.
Self-fillet.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's strange.
I just know one day I'm going to come home and you're going to be like a fucking pretzel. Call an ambulance. Don't explain how I got here. Just do it.
I also got something in my eye. I can't see out of my left eye. What a disaster. Anyway, so if you have thoughts on filleting yourself, please get in touch.
Or if you've actually ever mastered it.
You've mastered it.
No, if someone has ever mastered it, I would be fascinated to hear.
/ see pictures.
I don't know if I want to see pictures of it. The whole thing kind of grosses me out a bit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see what we get through.